Hello and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike and I play with one Pokemon on the field.
I'm Kevin and I'm sorry to admit that I am a Dozo Bozo.
Why are you a Dozo Bozo, Kevin?
Because I'm bringing Dozo to the liege, baby.
What? Why? How could you betray all of us like that and become the thing that you hate?
Listen, it's either I play Dozo or I play Size Spam. So either way, I'm a bad person. There's no good here. It's just what flavor of bad do I feel like being this month? And I haven't been Dozo bad yet. So taking a page out of the Nino Pokebros book. I'm trying out the big fish and the little fish.
Yeah, Kevin is on a never-ending quest to hit day 2 with toxic pieces of Pokemon.
Listen, I haven't hit day 2 yet, which is a personal goal of mine at this point.
Sure.
You know me. We went to 5 regionals last year and NAIC. I've 6-3 bubbled every single one. It's to the point where it's almost a meme that it's like, okay, I will be 6-2 in the last round and then lose. That is what happens every time. It's just like, okay, let's go home.
I will say that has happened to me. I want to say twice now, where I've hit 6-2 and then ended up 6-3 and been very sad about that, where I could have day 2'd a 7-2. That happens to more people than it doesn't happen to. So I guess there's a little bit of solace that you can take in that.
So the thought process is, hey, let me try to win now and let me go with everything I got. And at the end of the day, that's the whole point of this is to win. And you shouldn't feel bad about using Pokemon that are legal in the format. The other thing is that I'm also going Yellowfish Dondozo. I don't know if I'm going to stick around with that for Toronto Regionals. Okay. I'm kind of swapping between Yellowfish and Orangefish. For those of you that need a reminder, Yellowfish is speed boost on your order up, and Orangefish is attack boost on your order up. I find it that with speed boost, because there are just so many fast Pokemon in the meta, with the speed boost, all you really need to do is one order up, and then suddenly you outspeed all of them. And then you can just kind of maintain that with more order ups if you really have to. To even outspeed things in Tailwind is crazy too with Dondozo. You can really get high up there in speed.
Do you see that people are still trying to build around trying to build against Dondozo?
I'm not seeing a lot of haze.
Really?
I might be shooting myself in the foot by saying this on a public podcast with thousands of viewers 2 weeks before a regional. But I'm not seeing a lot of haze. I'm not seeing a lot of clear smog. Amoonguss took a hard step back. We remember that. You got Ogerpon now. You got Rillaboom now. Amoonguss, where'd you go, buddy?
Where did Amoonguss go? That's true.
Where'd you go? It's gone. So to me, that sounds like a lot of Dondozo answers removed from the game.
Whoa. I'm just, as you say that, I went over to Picolytics. I'm looking at the usage stats for Teal Mask Showdown preview. And Amoonguss is sitting down in 16th place, 16th monthly ranked.
Keep in mind, this Pokemon was top 5 in Regulation D.
This Pokemon was top 5 for the past 8 months.
Well, think about all the grass types we got. We got Sinistcha. Great Pokemon. We got Hearthflame Ogerpon, Wellspring Ogerpon. Rillaboom got Grassy Glide now. Your options are just Heatran is a great grass type. We don't really need Amoonguss right now.
That's true.
Amoonguss's job is fulfilled. And right now we just got other grass types to worry about.
And this is my biannual time to go and mention the Amoonguss factor.
Brother, it's bi-monthly, not biannual.
I mean, okay, listen. This is at least quarterly. This is my quarterly announcement of the Amoonguss factor. For those of you who've been listening for a while, you're now groaning in your seats, being like, oh, he's going to talk about the Amoonguss factor again. He made this thing up and it's nothing. It's not nothing. The Amoonguss factor is how much Amoonguss is present in the meta when the meta is weird. The meta has been weird up until Ogerpon showed up. And now Ogerpon's here and Amoonguss is gone. Because the meta has kind of found itself. And now we're not seeing like 70% Flutter main usage either. We're not seeing like a rivaling 70% Iron Hands usage. We're seeing Flutter main sitting at 41%, Iron Hands sitting at 30%. That's the top two.
Yeah.
Like we have a very diverse meta right now. Like you can go with so much more than you could in Series 1, Series 2, Regulation C, D, E, F.
No, you actually have so many options now. Yeah, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, back like I was saying about that team is actually doing really well for me. I'm currently undefeated in the Liege, which I mean, I've only had one battle, but yes, undefeated in the Liege. But also on Patreon, we do have like competitive days where we play extra videos alongside. Hit that jazz music.
Oh, no, I got you. Hold on.
So on patreon.com/Pokésports, we have. I can't do that without laughing.
Yeah,
we have a tier for $14.99 a month where you can have more competitive battle content.
Competitive battle content.
For just a few extra dollars. 4 times a week where I play Dondozo and I went 9-1 on ladder.
And Tatsugiri.
That's it. That's all I got to say. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Pokésports. All right. Yeah, I did really well on Patreon as well. So I'm listen, this team is, I'm feeling it.
Good.
Really feeling it.
Good. I am still trying to find my ideal team for Toronto Regionals, but I have a pretty decent idea. And I am going to be one of the people who brings in an Ogre Pawn for regionals. Because I feel like you've got two kinds of people, right? The kinds of people who bring in the Ogre Pawn and then the kinds of people who don't.
Just do it. It's good. Like, it's so dumb. They invented a Pokemon that is somehow Zacian, but not. Zacian, right. But I hazard to say better typing because Zacian is Steel Fairy. That's a very good typing.
Yeah.
But Zacian with better offensive. I don't even want to say offensive. I don't know. It's not faster either.
You know?
A baby Zacian. A baby lady Zacian. Ogre Pawn.
Well, actually, looking at the top 4 from Sacramento, dipping a little bit further into what we're going to be talking about today on the podcast. Not seeing a ton of Ogre Pawn, actually, which is very, very surprising. Ogre Pawn wasn't the top. What's that?
Are we talking about the whole tournament or
the whole
top
tournament?
4 of the event? Okay.
I'm just looking at day 2. Like Hearthflame Ogre Pawn was 4th in usage at 41.7%, and then Wellspring was 25%.
Oh, fair enough.
It's interesting.
It's another situation. Oh, sorry. We're probably not supposed to be talking about this right now, but it's another situation where Wellspring is kind of seeing more play than Hearthflame.
Sure. No, well, you know what? Let's get into it. Let me just tee up what we're talking about today. So today on Pokésports, we are going to be talking about the Sacramento Regional that happened over the weekend. We've got an update for Statsugiri, which, if people don't know, that is the successor to Babiri.net. Those who have been listening to the podcast for a while know that we are big advocates for the work of Calvin Kuhn, who put together Babiri.net, who then went on to produce Statsugiri. So anyway,
a lot better name now. Gotta love that name.
It's
not
great.
Just because I'm a bozo now, but Statsugiri is pretty good.
Yeah, you got Picolytics and Statsugiri. It's perfect. And then we've got some Terra Raid battle event news. All today on Pokésports. Anyway, let's get into the first thing. We've got Sacramento Regionals this past weekend, October 14th and 15th, 2023.
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses. There was a regional in Sacramento, California. This was a West Coast event, so we did not go.
It's on the other side.
Yeah. There were 409 Masters players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked like a great time. I got to watch the stream for this one. It was a lot of fun. And again, I mentioned this in after the last stream too, but like the amount of production quality that's going into these competitive streams, it's beautiful. It's top notch.
Well, I mean, we know that they changed pricing this year.
Yes.
They could have also changed the budget for actual streams. Who knows?
Probably.
Like if they changed the budget for pricing, I'm sure they changed other budgets behind the scenes that we don't know about.
I'm sure there's a lot of internal stuff, that's now getting a lot more money thrown at it, which is good. Like that's a step toward Pokemon having the buy-in for the esports section of their business that they've kind of been just letting grow on its own. Now they're seeing like more attention being put on it. They're seeing more creators making stuff about it. They're seeing, some creators getting to crazy heights with, within just this platform. So like they're more willing to get into it. Anyway, let's talk about Sacramento. We have the top 8 of this tournament. And again, I'll remind you that top 8, 5th to 8th, they walk away with 100 CP and $1,000. Money. Top 4 and top 3 end up with $2,000 and 130 CP. Second place gets 160 CP and $4,000. And the first place winner gets 200 CP, $6,000, and their 2024 Worlds invite.
Easy.
Remember, now all you need to do is just win a regional. And there you go. You're in.
Just be good.
Mm-hmm. I love seeing the bi-coastal kind of things, kind of tournaments, because you see people there that you don't like often see in other tournaments. Like we have our own like East Coast group, people who go to like Toronto, who go to Charlotte, who go to Florida, Orlando, like people who kind of stay in that one time zone, kind of one or two time zones. But then you go over to California and you got people like Michael Zhang who, ended up in first, or Riley Factura, or Raghav Malavia. We've seen Raghav before. Shane Gaffney. Those are our top 4 for this year. That's awesome.
Very good teams too. Like you were talking about this before, where the meta is diverse enough to where it allows for a lot of different Pokemon to be played. Brother, we got a Como winning the whole thing.
I know, right?
We got that's actually very surprising, because Como, although is very, I don't want to say obvious. Okay. It's very straightforward as to what it's going to do. It's going to click Clangorous Soul, and then it's going to click Clanging Scales. Like that. Those are the two things that it does. The cool thing that it got this generation was the ability to not be 4 times weak to Fairy and instead resist it.
Right.
So you could be a Steel type now, and you get smack things with Flash Cannon. You have that added benefit after your Omni boost. Now, the thing that is a little scary about Michael Zhang's team, and Michael Zhang did win the whole entire thing, is Iron Bundle is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of people kind of put Iron Bundle on the backseat for a little bit. But once you realize how fast that Pokemon is and how well it works with speed control and how it, Freeze Dry is 4 times effective against Wellspring Ogerpon, it feels very good.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Freeze Dry just is great against the majority of the meta right now. Like if we take a look back at Pikalytics, we got things like Landorus up here at 22%.
4 times effective.
Yeah, Rillaboom, Sinistcha, Blood Moon, Wellspring Ogerpon.
Wellspring Overtime.
That's what I had today. But yeah, Freeze Dry is really great in the current meta. I'm also surprised to see Tyranitar here on this team. Not going to lie, kind of feels like a sore thumb seeing Tyranitar here on this team. In my brain, I'm like, that could have been a cornerstone Ogerpon, but fine.
Oh,
T-Tar it is.
Right. Wow.
T-Tar it is.
We're setting up Sand, but for what? Oh, for the Arcanine. Hold on.
For the Arcanine, yeah, you get the special defense in the Arcanine. So I guess that's an option. Yeah. Maybe there has to be some big brain calcs that Mike knows that we don't know.
Oh,
not this
that's
Mike.
Usually
Mike.
that's usually the case. Yeah. I will say I'm looking on Victory Road right now, victoryroadvgc.com for the 2024 Sacramento results. And they do this nice thing, like further down the page in the usage stats category. They've shown what the Pokemon Company would show, which is the top 12 Pokemon of the day. And it shows your typical thing, like your Fluttermane sitting at top, your Landorus, then your Iron Hands, your Hearthflame Overtime, sorry, your Rillaboom and your Urshifu all in the top 6. But then underneath that, they write, I want to say it's their own opinion about it. So they're saying things like good performances, Iron Hands, Therian Form Landorus, and Fluttermane dominated this event again after Peoria. The regulation set E crown is still disputed. The highest conversion rate among the 10 most used Pokemon was Rapid Strike Urshifu at 14%. Oh, okay. Other Pokemon with high conversion rates were Heatran at 13, Rillaboom with 12, and Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon. So I assume the conversion rate.
Yeah. I think conversion rate means Pokemon from day 1 that moved up to
Correct.
day 2, moved up higher spots in day 2, have better results, the higher results.
So things like Dragonite, which was not even present in day 1, is actually in day 2 as a top 12er. It sits at number 12. And then they say things like bad performances. Chi-Yu lost its place in top 12 from day 1 to day 2. So a lot of people brought Chi-Yu. Not a lot of people were winning with Chi-Yu.
With it though, yeah. That's a fair point. 14% to no percent. Just gone. Gone from the top 2. The day 2.
And I mean, that's 12. Reflected in the top 8 as well. The only Chi-Yu that was seen was Shane Gaffney, who ended up in 4th.
Hey, Mike, you notice something here?
What?
Pokemon with moves that miss had bad performances? Wow.
Shocking.
Are you telling me that going for a Heat Wave, Snarl, or Overheat doesn't hit every single time? Weird.
Well, wow. Actually, you're right. Now I'm looking at the still talking about the top 1. Just looking at Michael Zhang here, who brought in the Arcanine. Usually Arcanine, we're not seeing the moves yet, but Arcanine usually would run a Rock Slide on that.
Flare Blitz, E-Speed, etc.
Yeah. So like it has moves that are sure hit, but then it also has moves that are, not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like Rock Slide is a move that'll kind of never go away. Because
there's no better option.
The risk reward is just too great.
There's no better physical rock move currently except for Ivy Cudgel on a Cornerstone, which is why Ivy Cudgel on a Cornerstone. And me, I feel like Cornerstone Ogerpon is so slept on. Yeah. There has to be a team in the world that can make that Pokemon better, because 100%, 100 damage, critical hit, high chancing rock move.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has to be made good. It should be illegal not to be good.
Yeah.
But
it's got to be out there somewhere. You just got to find it. Kevin, maybe it'll be you.
I don't know. I doubt it. I'm playing Dozo.
Are you sure? Okay, after looking at this, are you sure you still want to bring Dozo? You have enough time to change your mind without it being 2 days before.
Look at this top 8 and find the Haze user for me.
Chenpao.
Now look at this top 8 and find a real Haze user for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Chenpao is the only one here, actually, now that you're mentioning it. There's only one Chenpao, right, too.
Yeah. Amoonguss. Also on that same team.
You know what the cool thing about running Dozo and Tatsugiri is?
What?
Is that if you see a Haze user, you could just bring the other 4.
I guess so. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's talk about the top 4. In 4th was Shane Gaffney, who came in with a Hisuian Arcanine,
again,
a Fluttermane, Rillaboom, Shifu Rapid Strike, a Chi-Yu. There's our only Chi-Yu in top 8, and Tornadus Incarnate. This is a pretty standard team. Like, I've seen this team kicking around all over the place.
Shane Gaffney is the only reason that Chi-Yu and Tornadus are getting any kind of good press in day 2, because those are the 2 lowest performing mons. He has them both on the team. I mean, yeah, honestly, this is a really good team. Grasswater Fire Core right there in the middle. Arcanine there as your Intimidator, Fluttermane there as your Fluttermane, and then you got Tailwind support. Like, this team can't go wrong.
I find it interesting to compare that one again to the team that came in first. And just to get that out of the way, the team that came in first also had a Hisuian, Arcanine, Fluttermane, and Rillaboom, but instead brought a Komodo, Iron Bundle, and Tyranitar. So the differences there.
Those are the only ones appearing in top 8 too. There's no other Komodo, Bundle, or Tyranitar in top 8.
This is true. You still had a Grass, Water, Fire core, but while Shane had Hisuian, Arcanine, Rillaboom, and Urshifu Rapid, Michael had a Hisuian, Arcanine, Rillaboom, and Iron Bundle. And between the two of them, I felt like Iron Bundle, it outperforms Urshifu in so much of the current meta.
Also had a little bit of a Fairy Dragon Steel core.
Yeah.
This was a Steel Terra type Komodo too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of that snuck in there. The Fluttermane is really good for switch-ins on the 3 fighting weaknesses that they have on this team, but I'm sure they had Terra types to evade those, like maybe a Flying T-Tar or something.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking team.
All right, Ragav came in third with a Wellspring Ogerpon, a Baxcalibur. We haven't seen a Baxcalibur in a hot minute. A Rillaboom, Heatran, Alolan Ninetales, and Landorus.
We actually have a good snow setter now. Because like Alolan Ninetales, like really quick trip back to Peakalytics, is sitting right next to Wellspring Ogerpon at 12% usage, number 12 on the monthly rank.
Yeah.
Being able to set, because weather's not that prominent right now, Politoed's not making an impact like a lot of people thought it would be, mostly because Ogerpon exists. Torkoal is Torkoal and Ninetales isn't that great. So with the Ninetales introduction, with the snow being the only weather we really see here in top 8, except when you go right down to like 7th place with the Trick Room team.
Yeah.
You can just kind of set Aurora Veil, and in one turn you have 2 screens up. It's crazy. You
true.
give light screen to it, you have damage reduction for 8 turns, and there's not much your opponent can do about it. That paired next to the defense boost that Baxcalibur gets thanks to the weather. And also, it got Scale Shot as a TM now, so you can have Scale Shot loaded dice plus Icicle Spear.
Are people using that a lot now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Scale Shot's cool because it is a multi-hit move. It gets loaded dice boosted to 4 hits at minimum. And also, it gives you a speed boost, but lowers your defense. But that lower defense doesn't matter because you're in the snow. So you go back to normal after 1 Scale Shot, and you get a speed boost.
That move does a lot of things.
Yeah. It's a weird move.
Whoa, yeah, it inflicts damage, hits 2 to 5 times. If the user doesn't miss, the user's speed is raised by 1 stage. Defense is lowered by 1 stage.
But since you're in the snow, your defense is technically never lowered. Yeah.
Sure.
It's a free speed boost plus 5-hit move. 4 to 5 hit move.
Now, do you think that was a good move for them to do? To buff multi-hit dragon moves? Because like they didn't do that for Bullet Seed. They didn't do that for Tail Slap. They didn't do that for anything.
Oh, you just mean giving it the additional effect? I mean, it's a give and take effect, though, because you do lose something.
I guess. You know what? In lore, it does make sense. You lose more of your scales. Your defense is lowered, but you're lighter. Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess I get it.
The thing that I think a lot of people forget about Baxcalibur, too, is that this Pokemon has the same attack stat as Landorus.
Mm-hmm.
Base 145. Wow. Thing hurts a lot. And Ice is a great offensive option. Especially, again, into the current meta with Ogerpons and with Landoruses and Rillabooms and the like. Ice is a great offensive option right now.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at some of the current like large threats out there, right? You've still got Fluttermane, which Baxcalibur handles quite well with an Icicle Spear.
Poison Terry will be fine against Flutter.
Sure. Yeah. And then Scale Shot just kind of like has great coverage against most things.
Yeah, most things are neutral to Dragon for the most part.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Ragav, that was a pretty interesting team. And actually, apart from the team that won, in top 4, there's no like direct weather setters.
Yeah, not at all.
One would have to use like their tornadoes to go and change the weather there, which it can do and does it well. But it's not a Alolan Ninetales. It's not a Tyranitar.
That's where a good player can look at open team sheet, be like, oh, Tornadus has Rain Dance. Let me just attack instead, because Ninetales still does hit like a truck.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hitting those surefire blizzards on a tornadoes is pretty nasty. Even ones that it's like, 75% chance to hit. Like, it's a good hit when it hits.
You just go for them blind.
Yeah. How much is Blizzard? Is
like
that
110?
No, yeah, but our accuracy. Oh, it's 70%. Wow.
70, yeah.
Yikes. All right. In second, that's Riley Factura, who, again, 160 CP, $4,000. Did it with an Ogerpon, King Gambit, Amoonguss, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Chenpao, and Dragonite. The good old tried and true Chenpao Dragonite.
Brother, talk about physical Pokemon.
Yeah, really.
He brought all of them.
Yep.
Literally all of them. The only special attacker on this team is Amoonguss, which is hardly that. These all hit like an absolute truck. There is, you can't hide from this damage. You have crits from Urshifu. You have Chenpao lowering everyone's defense. You have E-Speeds from Dragonite. You have boosted Intimidates from King Gambit if they decide to bring their Arcanine against you. And you have a +1 coming out of an Ogerpon. This is a scary team.
Right.
Like, I didn't expect a team with full physical Mons to get second place at a regional, because usually you have to diversify.
In the face of, like, more often than not, people bringing Landorus. Like 50% of people in day 2 brought a Landorus Incarnate with Intimidate.
Hey,
and
maybe that's why King Gambit's doing so well, though.
Sure. Because I mean, the whole thing about this physical team is just like, yeah, okay, you got a physical team, I'll bring a Landorus. And to that they say, all right, well, just hit harder.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, the King Gambit is an interesting choice with Defiant for the Intimidate drops. Now it's not. And you'll see like it performed very well. It beat out
It's coming back, yeah.
teams like that. Yeah. Riley specifically beat out Shane Gaffney, who brought the Hisuian Arcanine, Urshifu Rapid, Chi-Yu, and Tornadus that we talked about earlier. And yeah, like you can see kind of how that team would fare against teams like that. I don't know. It's interesting.
Also, special little mention here. We finally got Psy Spam and Hard Trick Room in top 8. Congratulations, Brian. Yeah, look at that. But here's a little bit of a backstory from Brian real quick.
Okay.
Brian actually got his Gallade banned from day 2.
Oh,
and
no.
Still made top 8 without a 5th Pokemon, playing just the rest of the team.
But when your other 5 Pokemon are Indeedee, Armarouge, Urshifu, Torkoal, and Ursaluna, like, I think you're going to be okay.
But the thing is, Psy-Spam doesn't win that many tournaments. It's very rare that it'll get top 8. But the reason why the Gallade was banned is because it was nicknamed quotation Ceruledge quotation.
Oh.
So they said no. They gave him a game 1 loss of his first round of day 2. And then banned him from using that Pokemon for the rest of the tournament. Brother still got 7th place.
That's a really interesting reason to ban somebody.
It is against the rules.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. It is against the rules. Most people play with nicknames off. I play with nicknames off personally.
Yeah.
But I also get it.
I didn't know, can I turn nicknames off?
Yes, you can. It's in the settings.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that immediately. Because I am done with making videos about Ferrosako and
that's not a nickname though. That's their actual name.
Oh, but am I still going to get that?
Yeah, you're still going to get that.
Oh.
That's what some competitive players do. And I know, like, I don't want to name any names, but I know some competitive players play on like Japanese or Chinese cartridges just so that they get the extra second that your opponent doesn't know what's coming on the field. Too much.
I don't need that level of mind games. Okay. I don't need it. Oh, well. Okay. So that's Riley. And then, of course, again, Michael Zhang's team with the Hisuian Arcanine, Fluttermane, Rillaboom, Komodo, Iron Bundle, and Tyranitar. I need to watch those games back because
see what he did. Yeah.
Yeah. He beat out like Ragav with the ice team that we mentioned. So he won the weather war there. He beat out Aaron Brock, who came in with a Wellspring Ogerpon and a Heatran, King Gambit, Iron Hands, Ninetale, Alola Ninetales, and Landorus Therian. So funny enough, it looks like he beat out in day 2 exclusively people who were weather setters.
Mm-hmm. Because like the thing is, like you can just stop Alola Ninetales from setting up Roarveil. Just be like, here's my Tyranitar.
And Tyranitar,
what is Alola Ninetales going to do to Tyranitar? Absolutely nothing. I mean, you can hit it with a Moonblast. Doesn't matter. You got like super special defense right now.
And then on that same turn, it gets hit by Sandstorm, and then it loses its Focus Sash.
Yeah,
if it's wearing that.
I don't know. Como. Don't sleep on Como.
I think it's a worthwhile Pokemon. It makes a lot of sense. Like Clangorous Soul, you've seen how good Omni Boosts are. We've lived through Dondozo. We're here. Right? Clangorous Soul just gives you half of that. It's great.
Could also be there is an Iron Defense Body Press Como set running around too.
You think that one was that?
I don't know, because we don't have the open team sheets, but that's also another option for Como that's actually really legit, especially now that, 4 times weakness to Fairy is disappearing.
Right. Yeah. Well, I can tell you in just a second, actually.
Ooh, Mike got the sets.
Mike don't got the sets, but Mike got the streams.
Oh.
And you better believe that I'm going to scrub through the stream right now to see what the Como did in the last one.
Mike's got a wedding to prepare for, but he also has a team to decide for Toronto. You got a busy couple of weeks there, bud.
Yeah, it's. Are
there
true.
any?
Yep.
Out of all the VGC stuff that you've played on the channel so far, is there any team or Pokemon that you're enjoying a lot playing with, or using, or playing against?
Well, it's soon to be this Como set because I'm looking at it right now. It is the one that you're talking about.
A Body Press?
Yeah. It's Protect, Iron Defense, Iron Head, and Body Press.
And then probably Steel Terra.
Can't tell from this screen, but probably.
If it's Iron Head on it, yeah.
Sure. But the interesting thing here is he beat Riley with just a Komodo left. The Komodo was the only thing left on the field versus a Terra Ghost Chenpao. And he won.
You're telling me that the Iron Defense Body Press Como won against the full physical team?
Yeah, wow. Turns out.
Turns out, yeah.
So that's the whole thing. You're going up against Landorus's. They're using their Intimidate, so you're just like, all right, I'll Body Press.
Who cares about your Intimidate? I'm not
I go off of defense.
I will say this: why not just use a Hoodra though? Because doesn't Hoodra do that same thing but better? I gotta look at the stats. I mean, Como is faster. Oh, Como gets stab on the Body Press though.
Ah, okay.
It might do more damage mathematically there.
I mean, usually in situations like this where we have to ask ourselves, is this better than the other Pokemon? The answer is usually probably not. Like you probably could use the Hisuian Gudra like this Komodo.
I'm sure Michael has. I'm like that slot on his team has probably changed so many times. He had to arrive at Como. He didn't say, I'm going to start with Como and build around it.
Right. Okay. Well, either way, that is Sacramento California. We learned a lot from this one. I'm excited for Toronto Regionals. And yes, once this wedding is done, I am like full on laser focused on figuring out this Toronto Regionals thing. What sucks is that there are people who are spending like 2 months preparing for it. And I've got like the better part of a week.
The first half. It's all good. I'm gonna run sets with you. We got this.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run best of threes. We're gonna run sets. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna call Pierre over, get him to do the same thing. What's this Statsugiri update, Kevin?
The update is that it actually supports Regulation E. It wasn't supporting Regulation E for a very long time, but it looks like ever since our friend Calvin settled down in Toronto, he's gotten back to work, and we can actually, it's essentially as Babiri was. Like, if you're looking for a team, this is perfect for you.
Okay.
You just go to statsugiri.gg/teams, and it shows you all the top players' teams. Would you look at that? There's a Como.
The top of the ladder right there. Huh? So
different team. But yeah.
If I click on replay, then
you get to see their last match
playing through. Yeah, okay.
You see all the BM.
Yep, great. There's tons of BM. Wow. I feel weird like sitting in on this level of conversation.
It's all
like,
good.
Some people being like, you ladder too much.
It looks like the body press thing is the thing to do, huh?
Interesting.
It's like the Como is sitting there at ×3 defense with a -1 attack, and it doesn't care. And honestly, it's getting ignored.
Using Shadow Claw.
I disagree with that, but I guess that is a way to hit ghost types.
Sure. Well, that's wild. Okay. So that's showing the best teams, right? So this is a team that's sitting at 1850 rating, which is nuts. There's still no way of finding out exactly what those teams are running, though, right?
Only by watching back the games. And I guess once you have... The thing is, like, once you have the player, you can go back and click their name and then just keep watching them back, specifically if you really want to scout them.
Right. Which I do. Like, I think that, honestly, that is the way that I learn best, is like just straight up copying a like high ranking players team, playing around a couple games with those, and just like making small tweaks here and there. Maybe it's like an EV spread here that I change, a Pokemon there that I change.
Mm-hmm.
But like it always starts from straight up impersonation. And I think that's okay.
That's absolutely fine. You don't have to be a good team builder to be a good player. It's not 1-on-1. The interesting thing here too is that you see a lot of strength. Like, we're talking about the Como a lot today. It's like the Como episode.
Yeah.
But also we're seeing things like Bramblegast in 1818 rating. We're seeing Lycanroc Dusk form in 1807. We got a Hard Trick Room team up here in 1776. And finally a Cornerstone Ogerpon
76
in 1767, running a Hippowdon next to it. That's interesting because you do get the special defense boost with the sand there.
So one thing a little caveat into this, though, is what we're looking at right now is the Regulation E format. One thing that I think that you as an audience should do, you as a listener who's trying to get better at your best of threes, is go and change the filter from Regulation E to Regulation E best of three. That's where you're going to see a completely different set of high rated people. Right, you're going to see people at 1553 bringing in the usual culprits, right? You got your Fluttermane, your Ogerpon Hearthflame, Rillaboom, Roaring Moon, Urshifu, and Weezing.
Got a Weezing up here,
top right now, which is wild.
Weezing is decent. If you look at that team with Weezing doesn't turn off photosynthesis, and it doesn't turn off other things like that.
Right.
So you can kind of just use the Weezing strategically next to things like Roaring Moon and next to things like Fluttermane and not have it negatively affect you, while also turning off opposing Ogerpon's +1s from Embody Aspect, turning off Dondozo's unaware or turning off Tatsugiri's commander.
Right.
Even Unseen Fist you turn off as well. So sorry, you can protect in front of an Urshifu now.
That's right. It is interesting to see that. I mean, in the best of 3 best teams, that is where you're seeing your Dondozos again. So there they are.
Please, no one run Haze. Let me win. No one do it.
Don't run Haze. Don't run Wheezing.
Yeah.
Don't want to see it. Yeah.
The good news is if the Tatsugiri is in the mouth already, it doesn't get spit out. So that's good news at least.
Scary thing, actually, though, looking at the Statsugiri.gg list of the top teams there are at what, 10 on the first page. All 10 of them have a Flutter Mane. Every single one of them.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it turns out Flutter Mane is still pretty good. It's a Pokemon where like you have to have it on your team. And if you're not, you're kind of doing something wrong.
I'm genuinely curious what's going on in OU right now with this DLC. So I'm going to go and look at OU now.
So we're looking at Statsugiri Gen 9 OU. Okay.
Iron Valiant is top of the ladder?
It's a good mixed attacker in specifically singles.
Yeah, it's hot garbage in doubles. What's happening?
Everyone says that. Yes, and that's true. But man, oh man, like mixed attackers are an actual thing in OU.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got Tinglu still up here.
Yep.
Meowscarada is still up here.
Zapdos and Tinglu, interesting that like that combo is there in a singles format.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Disquake.
Yeah.
But not Disquake because
it's not Disquake. I know, yeah.
Why is Manaphy and Rabombi up here? Things are wild in OU. Walking Wake is a Pokemon? Oh yeah.
Walking Wake is a thing, yeah, that's right.
Look at that 1937 team and tell me how much you're vomiting.
The 1937. This is a team. Okay, so I used to run a team that was similar to this. Back in Oras, or maybe it was even X and Y.
How do you
so this team here is a Blissey, Clefable, Corviknight, Dragapult, Gliscor, and Toxapex.
Don't ever talk to me about and making me feel bad about running Dondos or Tatsugiri if you said I've run this thing before. Yikes!
Look at you. You set your sights on one regional with a Dondozo Tatsugiri, and suddenly you're a Nino stan.
I'm a bozo. Listen, a lot happened in that bedroom.
Wow. This is a format where Breloom is still a thing, and that's why I continue to love Breloom. Breloom sitting in 1934 rating. That's number 9 in the ladder so far. With Breloom, Ceruledge. I keep forgetting the name of that big thing, Glamora. That's it.
That big thing.
That big thing. Great Tusk, Hatterene, Roaring, Walking Wake. Ugh.
I forgot that was a Pokemon until right now.
You will continue to forget that Walking Wake is a Pokemon until it comes into the actual meta. There are a lot of Pokemon that are in the game. You can play with them.
We wait patiently.
Yeah. Technically, Manaphy is in the game.
I don't know what that is doing, and I don't know what it does, but I'm sure it's there for a reason.
Yep. I'm not sure what that reason is either, but it's there. Anyway, it's a good time. Statsugiri.gg. We love it. Thank you, Calvin, for putting that together.
Big fan.
Yeah. The next Terra Raid battle event has been announced for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This event will feature the return of a Blissey Raid event, which features an increase in Terra Shards and EXP Candy rewards. Another good reminder to just go and get Terra Shards, even if you don't need them right now. Just like, man, you gotta stock up.
This takes place the 20th to the 22nd
of October.
So Yeah, this is actually really. I don't know if you've actually partaked in a Blissey raid yet.
Definitely, yeah.
It's ridiculous. You just go in with any physical attacker that does damage and pretty much OHKO every single Blissey.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fast and it gets you so many Terra Shards. And if you completed your Kitakami Pokedex, you get even more on top of it. That gets multiplied. So, this is the freest way you can get Terra Shards right before Toronto Regionals. Go for it. Have a blast. Have fun.
Well, I think we found the thing that you can do after you land in Toronto.
Oh, yeah. Fight
So
Blissies.
Fight Blissies all day.
Pokemon battles are full of
Blissies.
Full of Blissies.
All right. We've got a Q&A on this show. Every week we go and ask a question and people go and answer it sometimes.
Before the Q&A, what episode are we on?
This is 186.
And what Pokemon?
No,
is
188.
That?
188, which is Sneasel?
I'm gonna say Hoppip. No, I take that back immediately. We're way too deep in the Johto.
Yeah, we're deep. Yeah. You can do it.
It was Sudowoodo a couple of days ago.
I think we wanted it to be, yeah.
No, I think you were right, weren't you?
Number. Yeah, it was 185. Yep. Okay.
Okay, it was Sudowoodo a couple of days ago. So we're
Steelix. I feel like we're on Steelix now.
Miltank.
Oh, okay. That's a
around
one.
Whitney. Yeah, that's around there.
I'm going to do a thing and I'm going to look up the Pokemon and the number before I go and look up what this number is. So Miltank is number 241.
Whoa.
Yeah, you got a long while to go before
I will
Miltank.
Remember by the time we get there.
No, yeah.
I'll be gone.
Steelix's number was 208, so that was also way undershot.
Closer than me.
I guess. And then what was the first one I said? There was another one I said. Sneasel?
Yeah.
Sneasel number.
That's
215.
later.
215. Well, not as late as Miltank.
I guess not. What is happening?
Pokemon number 188.
Watch this just be a Crobat or a Kingdra.
Dude.
What?
What was the first Pokemon you said?
A Crobat?
No. There was the little guy.
What did I say?
You said Hoppip.
Don't tell me it's Hoppip.
It's Skiploom.
I got the line in.
You were so close. You were truly one off. You named the previous episode's Pokemon.
I did that on purpose. It's all part of my master plan.
I'll give it to you. I mean, really.
Yeah.
long overdue. Yeah.
There you go. All right. We ask questions on this podcast. Last week, I asked the audience if Pokemon wanted to perform jobs, i.e. Machoke movers, what jobs would they have?
Oh, that's a cute one.
So I
want to answer this.
I had to be very careful about how I asked this question, because I didn't want it to sound like if Pokemon had jobs, if I gave Pokemon jobs, because like it can't work like that. They have to choose for themselves, but they decide what they do best, and then they go and they perform the jobs.
I guess.
Anyway, what was your suggestion? What do you think?
I don't know.
Do you want to think about it while I answer this first one?
I want to probably steal other people's answers.
Okay. Ultra Beast Pro 101 says Ditto would be the best guy that you just hand any job to for a $5. Clean the gutters, mop the floor, vacuum the driveway, mow the lawn.
Fair.
Now, this goes back to an issue I had back at the Beast Coast tournament, actually. I had a disagreement with somebody else about Ditto specifically.
Oh.
Ditto.
It's probably Nishant.
Yeah, it was Nishant. Ditto, in my mind, can transform into anything it sees. Okay. So if it goes and transforms into a mop, would it not then just be a mop, fall down, clang, 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 down on the ground? It's not getting up and mopping stuff itself.
Huh.
nor is it transforming into a dude with a mop. Maybe.
Well, I mean, if we're going to take Pokemon Sleep and make it canon,
okay,
the rock form Sleep Ditto does in fact not move. It is a rock.
Does it do that because it can't, or does it do that because it's not?
I don't know.
Right? Like, can this rock just decide to have the properties of a Ditto and just start boing, 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 like bouncing down the street? In my mind, I say no.
It's got to be limited to what it has, because Ditto, when it takes up the form of someone else, is limited to their move pools.
That's what I think. Yes, absolutely. It's limited to their move pools. It's limited to their abilities. It doesn't copy their items.
Doesn't even copy their HP.
Okay, so if I'm holding a mop, I'm going back on that. If I'm holding a mop and it transforms into me, it's not using my held item, which is mop.
Which is mop.
It can use my special ability, which is procrastinate. But
so Ditto is a janitor.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, I don't mean to dunk on this too hard, but I do think Ditto would be a good worker because it can become any kind of worker.
I know what my answer is
that
now.
Worker. Yeah.
Rotom washing machine.
Okay.
Would be a great washing machine.
Do you know why? Because it has possessed a washing machine.
See, in that case,
yeah,
it can move. Because Rotom washing machine does move.
Yes.
But it possesses it differently, I guess.
It possesses it differently. Ditto becomes while Rotom possesses. All right. Mewtwo and Altura says, unsurprisingly to anybody, look closely. If Mewtwo was literally created in a reactor, then what is stopping them from returning to the lab and doing more science, biology, or nuclear physics specifically? I guess
Dragonite would be a great postal worker.
Stop. Just Dragonite would be good at its job. Yeah, I mean, that's true. If Mewtwo was well, I don't know about that. If Mewtwo was created in a lab, then it would be great for labs.
Oh my goodness. What if it made Mew 3?
It would make Mew 3. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Create chemical R. And we've gone for full circle.
I respect it. I mean, Mewtwo was created to have all this intelligence. So, like, why not? Yeah. It is the ultimate AI. Jobo says, Drowsy Sleep Co. Best dream-free night's sleep you'll ever have. Just don't mind the creepy mon staring at you while you sleep.
Oh,
you'll have a dream-free sleep. So, like, you'll be nice and well rested, right? Because it dream eats.
Oh, dream-free sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to dream full sleep, I guess you can call up your boy Darkrai.
That's fair. Ugh. If you want to sleep forever.
If you want to never wake up.
If you're like so tired.
If you want your student loans deferred, call Darkrai.
Darkrai.
He'll put you in a coma.
Do you think Dream Eater hurts?
No.
Okay. Pumpkin and Strawberry says legendary Pokemon would probably be bodyguards for high-ranking individuals with the ceremonial handing down of the Master Ball when a new person is elected. Whoa.
Oh, brother,
yeah.
Can't wait for my bodyguard shaman to really stop my little hedgehog.
I like the inherent like Nepo baby pass down the Master Ball kind of thing. Like, you know, you have Giratina protecting like some wealthy actor's grandson like years after they pass. That's fun. I mean, I like it, right? You've got Articuno protecting like, I don't know, a king.
Yes.
Kind of cool.
I'm a fan.
Ricky 2, the sequel to Ricky, says Patrat could use his beaver-like teeth to help chew through trees. That's a very practical solution.
Yeah, we wouldn't need lumberjacks anymore.
No, it's true. Here's one from Ian, who says, throat spray, Terra Poison, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, next to Tailwind, Fake Tears, Prankster, Olumise. Won me a decent amount of games on the KP on turn 1. Okay, so I fully thought this was going in one different direction until you finished the sentence. I thought you were going to give this guy a job.
No, he just want to know. He just want us to know.
No, I like it, and we welcome that. We tell people, hijack the question if you've got something to say.
And congratulations, by the way.
Yes, good job, great job. Throat spray, Terra Poison, Blood Moon, Ursaluna. Why is Terra Poison specific in this case?
Fighting, I think.
Okay. Yeah, next to Tailwind, Fake Tears, Prankster, Olumise. Okay, yeah, I get the fake tears. That's really cool. Geekson says Alchemy Chefs, Impidimp Children's Entertainer, and Serena Dancer. Perfect. See, this person understood the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I give that a solid 7 out of 10.
What was it? Dancer Serena?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Also agree.
Oh, you know what? We had asked people to hijack the question if they had something to talk about the Kitakami prologue, which is what KP is.
Oh, There you go.
Right.
It all makes sense now.
I want to do a couple more. There are a lot in this one. So let's choose this one here. Cool Hand XG says Alola Ninetales is making shaved ice at festivals and parties.
Okay.
Cute. Aiden says Zatu, detective, specialist of any field, goes to a previous scene, finds the culprit. From there, it goes to the next to catch them. Love the podcast. Was sad I wasn't smarter for last week's question. Oh no. I don't know what last week's question was. I'm not smart enough to remember.
The thing, it's funny that you say Zatu is a good detective because Zatu is literally in the first mission. And,
really?
And Detective Pikachu. And in that mission, it says, don't bother me, I'm meditating.
Oh, the previous question was if you could design your own Pokemon move or ability for competitive play. Yeah, I mean, that was a very complicated question. I would not feel bad. Let's see. Oh, this person says, Iogna says the Gengar line would run haunted houses during Halloween.
Oh, Fright Fest. Gengar Fright Fests.
Let's see. More people talking about the Kitakami prologue. Great stuff. Great stuff. Oh, here's one. Connor says, I feel like Ambipom would make a good retail worker. Kevin, what do you think about that?
Yes. Smash.
Not holding back!
All right. That sounds great.
You made it so much worse than I did.
All right. I think it's about that time. Let's all go to sleep. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Pokésports. Kevin, so many people listen to this in the morning when they wake up on their commute to work. So me saying let's all go to sleep is dangerous.
Just make sure you pull over first. But yeah, it's okay to take a nap on the wheel.
Yeah. All right. We hope that we helped you in this podcast.
Where do people say they listen to us? We want that last set at the gym to be the best set you've ever done. We want that commute to work to be the happiest commute you've ever had. We want you to finish that cup of coffee and make sure to eat all the cereal and drink the milk at the end. Have a great night, morning.